What's up, friends? I'm Ham, and in today's video, we're going to review the hunches and predictions I have about the possible changes we might face in video game developments during upcoming decades. So without further ado, let's get it going. There was a time in which video game titles and genres were truly bound to a handful, due to the scarce availability of resources, skilled technicians, and a very few target audience. But the hardware and software limitations in the past decades caused video game developers to devise more creative ideas with lasting effects. With technological advancement, particularly in early 2000, a huge leap forward to a vast new horizon began. The need for skilled programmers, top-notch artists, and designers to play roles in developing huge AAA projects inevitably led the entertainment industry to push its way through the educational systems. General artists no longer needed to get familiar with the gaming world to work accordingly. Programmers learned languages specifically used for games, and all other participants were educated with a focus on the entertainment industry prospects. Video game companies started to emerge one after another. Some survived the economic turbulences and failures that occurred in the past 2 decades, and some preferred to withdraw and leave the market. The growth of this industry caused an urge for developers to create a variety of genres that are adaptable to worldwide cultures. But after 2 fruitful decades of challenges and ups and downs, seems like we are stopped in a loop of repetition, and the extreme need for more vibrant games that can make us live the very moment and bring tears to our eyes is felt even more. One of the main issues with recent video games, especially the Western-developed ones, is that sticking to a strict and mathematical set of instructions to run projects and aiming only for financial benefits has resulted in waning artistic creativity that was the main essence for well-known titles like the Resident Evil franchise, Max Payne, Elder Scroll, and similar games to stand out. Regardless of your age, you can observe that nowadays there are so many indie titles that outpower famous AAA games, and this is proof of the mentioned complications. Knowing all this, I guess considering the exponential growth of technology and art as the backbone of video game developments, we will witness incredible revolutionary moves in this industry soon. The definite fact is, with the high price and limited access to industrial materials, most of the companies will preferably focus on cloud computing with a diversity of services presented as subscription fees. Well, as for what I think, after spending a huge amount of time exploring the worlds of countless video games, I finally came up with 5 expected constituents for the future of gaming that might transpire in the next decades. I need to mention these are all my perspectives and may not be 100% accurate. Empathic Channeling. Imagine you can easily replace your consciousness with someone else's, or transfer your self-awareness to a cat and live its life for a while. How cool this might be! It is quite certain that we have progressed well and achieved a lot about human beings' consciousness and other species' behavioral systems. But to be honest, we have not yet fully understood what it is and how it is in our control. Visualize a day in which science and AI can decipher all of our intellectual aspects in a way we can manipulate them on demand. We know there have been tons of research so far to prove this idea. One I can refer to is the Neuralink project, but it is still in the early stages and has a long path to be fully presentable. One of the ideas I have is an empathic channeling technology that enables gamers to deliberately reincarnate in other people, animals, nature, or even multicellular organisms and see what they see, feel what they feel, and sense the world as they do. Isn't this awesome? I guess it is. Wow, picture with the help of sophisticated tech, you decide to play 1 week as an American eagle soaring over the clouds and see the world in miniature, or live as an alpha wolf leading the pack for hunting. Even thinking about it gives me goosebumps. But I hope companies don't charge people with memberships we have to purchase for high prices now. Mood on demand. All of us gamers have faced emotional impacts and been touched by moments we will never forget. We all cried over the death of Joel in The Last of Us 2, shared the anger and grief of mighty Kratos, or even felt like fierce warriors while playing Skyrim. These are all mood-changing moments that are not within our control. We have to accept whichever emotionally triggering scene games have to offer. But what if I say we might be able to choose between the moods and even adjust the quality of them? It sounds kind of cool. Let's say you can magnify happiness after defeating bosses in an extremely challenging game. You want to feel proud and confident as you are playing the role of a Roman centurion leading a massive legion, or you want to be 30% sadder than your friends while playing a game about the tragic life of a lonely fisherman. I think these are possible through achieving advancement in science or high-end simulation technologies. Visual flexibility. I am an artist, and there have been so many times for me that I criticized the work of other fellas who designed characters, environments, and levels because I thought there might be different and more efficient ways, for example, to dress up NPCs or set up escape in a more eye-pleasing way, or even change the environmental assets to experience more unique moments. As you know, there are customization abilities in some games, but the main structure of the game stays intact for the whole game. What I'm trying to shed light on is a whole new world of personalization. The thrilling part that I've pondered is that creative people with artistic tastes or intuitive personalities will be able to get along with this technology in the future and share their artwork with other players and maybe even make an earning. Let's say it is 2070. Frankie and Sarah are playing together. Frankie is a rugby player and decides to make the goblin boss look more macabre and intimidating. At the same time, Sarah, who is a singer, wants to experience the appearance of the boss, more bearable and mellow. Voila, all done through a pair of decisions. And this is the miracle of technology. Narrative alteration. We are familiar with the catchy moments in video game stories and plots, in which we were bombarded with questions, but we never had the chance to discover more and unravel the cause. Sometimes parts, levels, or endings in video games leave us hanging in agonizing uncertainty. Our sense of curiosity inevitably channels our thoughts to replace the lost parts and create a kind of relief, and there is no other way around it. But what if you could bend the narratives, lores, and stories to some extent? What if you are a truly passionate person and can customize your playthrough by adding or removing parts of the script? What if you are a creative individual, and this ability will be an enthusiasm for you to bring up your best and be able to sell your way of narrating the game story to other players? Guess what? It is possible in the future by adding fluidity to video game structures. This way, players no longer feel they're just users. They will become a part of an endless creativity. You might say, what about sequels and franchises? What I'm trying to say is a certain range of textual manipulations that won't disfigure the main lines of the story. Interfused genre. The identity of video games is their genres, which are created according to a series of related assets. Horror, FPS, puzzle, RPG, and all of the genres out there live up to their names to answer the player's expectations. But what if gamers can have a virtual fabrication technology to weave multiple genres all together at their disposal and not wait for a specific developer to announce their upcoming titles, which are not quite clear to be as good as their trailer? The reason I chose the name Interfused Genre is that I've always wanted to experience a truly multifaceted video game with the essence I desire to have. For example, mixing the atmosphere of a psychological horror game with the elements of a sports title and creating something new you might like, and so many other genres are doable through this technology. Let's say you want to mix The Witcher 3 with Tiger Woods golf, and you can take down a siren with a swing of your club. Or even NBA 2K24 with Resident Evil 2. And have a brand new genre in which players can bite each other to defend against the opponent's attack. Funny, isn't it? Well, guys, we don't know for certain by far what the future of gaming has to offer and how technologies will affect this industry. But what is obvious to us players is that human beings are walking a path to a whole new world of discoveries and expectedly some massive changes that will take place in the coming decades. I'm curious to know what changes you think will happen and what other abilities you wish to have the most in the future of video gaming. You can share them in the comments. If you enjoyed watching this content, make sure to show it by subscribing, hitting the bell icon, and smashing the like button. See you in the next. Keep on being awesome.